You know that feeling, right? That absolute gut punch when you get the news. You've been paying your premiums, you thought everything was sorted, and then, boom, your insurance claim gets denied. It is so frustrating. And today, we're going to figure out exactly why that happens. Let's start by meeting someone who is right in the middle of this mess. So this is Rahul. He just got that dreaded notification, claim rejected. And his first thought, it's probably what a lot of us would think. Is this a scam? Are they just trying to cheat me? He's angry, he's confused, and he feels like he's been wronged. The thing is, Rahul's story is super common. So many claims get rejected every single year. But here's the twist. It's not always the insurance company's fault. In fact, most of the time, it's not. So if it's not them, then what is really going on? Okay, let's really get into it. We're going to follow Rahul's story and pinpoint the three biggest and honestly totally avoidable mistakes people make that get their claims rejected. And it all starts way back at the very beginning. All right, mistake number one, and this is a big one. It happens the moment you're filling out that application form. It's all about the information you give, or more importantly, the information you leave out. You have to remember this golden rule. An insurance policy is basically a contract built on honesty. It's called utmost good faith. All that means is you have to be totally upfront, and so do they. The company can't just guess your details. They have to trust what you tell them is the complete truth. And yeah, this is exactly where Rahu slipped up. If we could rewind, we'd see him just rushing through that form. Maybe he didn't mention he's a smoker, or he forgot about some minor health issue from a few years back because it seemed unimportant. Well, later on, if the company finds out something doesn't match, that's a huge red flag and a reason to say, nope, claim denied. So let's say you filled out the form perfectly. You've been totally honest. Awesome. But now you've hit the next major hurdle, actually understanding the piece of paper you're about to sign. Just think about your insurance policy like a rule book for a game. I mean, you wouldn't play a game without knowing the rules, right? You just end up losing. Well, it's the same thing here. Too many people just assume their policy covers absolutely everything, and that is a massive risk. And this is where Rahul got tripped up again. He was in a hurry. He signed on the dotted line, and he completely missed the fine print. Things like a waiting period for his condition to be covered, or an exclusion for the specific thing he was claiming for, or even a limit on how much the policy would pay out. Quick tip for you. When you get that policy document, flip straight to the sections on exclusions, waiting periods, and coverage limits. Seriously, that's where 90% of the important stuff is hiding. Okay, so you've been honest on the form, you've actually read the policy. You're all good, right? Well, not quite. This third mistake is a little surprising because it's about what you do after things go wrong. There's this basic idea in insurance called the duty to mitigate loss. It's a bit of a fancy term, but all it means is that you have a job to do too. You have to take reasonable steps to stop a bad situation from getting even worse. You can't just sit back and watch it unfold. For example, imagine a small fire starts in Rahul's kitchen. If he grabs a fire extinguisher and puts it out, he's doing his part. He's mitigating the loss. But if he just stands there and watches it spread to the whole house, well, he's not holding up his end of the deal. The insurance company is there to cover the initial accident, not the extra damage that could have been prevented. So we've seen where Rahul went wrong, right? He gave incomplete info, he didn't read the policy, and he didn't try to stop the damage from getting worse. Which leads to the big question. How do we make sure this doesn't happen to us? What's the real fix here? And the answer, the most crucial point of all, is this. The real work happens before you ever buy the policy. It's not about fighting with the company later. The best way to make sure your claim gets approved is to take the time up front to really understand what you're buying. This is the big aha moment for Rahul. Let's leave it with this thought. Insurance itself isn't a gamble. It's a safety net. The real gamble is signing up for a policy when you don't really know what's in it. When you're informed, you're not taking a risk. You're taking control. You know, breaking down these kinds of confusing topics into simple terms is exactly what we do. If you're tired of all the jargon and just want to get straight, simple truths about your money and insurance, we've got something that might help. You should join our free WhatsApp community. We break down these complex financial ideas into easy-to-understand, actionable advice. You can ask questions, get clear answers, and make sure you never, ever end up in a situation like Rahul's. The link is right there in the bio. Go ahead and take that next step to become a smarter, better protected consumer.